Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Torment Tides of Numenera. And on this episode, we are going to be continuing where we left off. For those of you who missed the last episode, we basically came in here, we've talked to a number of the people in here, we found out what's going on over here. This guy is being executed. They put him in some kind of a trance so that he, speaks his nightmares, and his nightmares become a rope, and they actually, kill him with the rope. They tie it around him until it suffocates him and strangles him to death. And then this big creature behind him will actually eat him afterwards and learn all of his secrets so they can do it to any of the accomplices because they say he's a traitor. Over here, we found out that these guys are traveling through this land and they captured a big creature like this with this device, and they're hoping to go back to their home village, their hometown someday, and free it from the religious oppression that's going on over there, where they have to do sacrifices to some god. And both of these people lost parents and nearly lost their own lives to it, so they've escaped and they're fugitives from their own land now, but they hope to go back one day and kind of reclaim it. And this guy down here is just some kid who's giving us information on the area, so we learned a little bit about the different sectors of this town and things of that sort. But that's it, guys. That was pretty much the whole episode, talking to these guys, because they had so much information for us that we really didn't get to look at anything else. So on this one, we're going to look around a little bit more. I can't say how much more, because some of these guys have a lot to say, and we're going to go through each and every one of their conversations as we go through the game, learn a lot about the lore, learn about just things going on, and maybe make some experience doing so. So let's come over here and talk to the seer. Blood. I see blood on the walls and howling doorways. Well, you see some weird stuff, guy. Just making it up as I go, pal. No worries. It's all in good fun. You are weird. Let's see. We got a merchant over here. Let's see if the merchant actually has anything good to sell. The sign over the stall says, "The Arming Room. Buy, sell, trade." Under the awning, a skinny man with a stooped shoulder and concave chest is cleaning a filthy caked weapon of some kind. He salutes you with a greasy hand. "Done in a moment. Have a look around if you need anything. Let me know. What can you tell me about the cliffs?" "It's dangerous, very dangerous. A murderer prowling the underbelly. Stitch burrowing beneath our feet. You never know what might happen." He squints at you hopefully. "I suggest you buy some arms and armor to protect yourself." Let's see, what can you show me for sale? "Sorry, what you see here already has been sold to others." So yeah, like I said before, they don't have anything in the shops, but the creatures do drop more stuff to make up for it. So yeah, we can just say farewell right there. Let's actually look at the shop. Armors of widely different materials are arrayed neatly within the stall. What about these guys? Oh, they actually have names, so they're going to have something to say, I'm sure. Falinda. Nearly every inch of this merchant's body is covered in tightly wound robes and furs. A hood obscures its head and a mask concealed its face. This doesn't stop you from noticing that it's apparently furious with you. Trembling, it bats at its similarly dressed companion. Both of them turn impassive masks back to you. Falinda. Neither Falinda nor Sertorius, I guess, could believe it. But the thief had returned. Had he come in shame, ready to return what he had taken? No, his hands were empty, his expression baffled. Falinda crosses swaddled arms. Perhaps the thief had simply forgotten to return what he had borrowed, but this made him no less a thief. "Are you narrating at me? I didn't borrow anything from you. You must have met the previous inhabitant of this body. What did he take? Are you narrating?" The thief said, trying to distract Falinda from the matter at hand, but the merchant would not be distracted. Besides, the merchant's thoughts to itself, "I've been asked that question many times." "I bet you have. 10 years ago, this thief had borrowed a book." Falinda wondered if the scoundrel was possibly unfamiliar with the definition of the word. It did not mean taking a thing and keeping it, after all. Sertorius pointedly returns to work, ignoring you both. Falinda sighs, massaging its temple with a gloved hand. But in the end, Falinda took a deep, deep breath and asked that the thief to simply return the sealed and long overdue book with the 5 colored signals on the cover. Well, we definitely don't have that. How could I possibly remember who borrowed a book from you 10 years ago? "I'll find your book. You have my word. I can't promise anything, but I'll look for it. I have no time for this." Let's see, how can you possibly remember that? The cunning thief said, hoping to arouse doubt in Falinda's mind, But the hope was a foolish one. Felinda's was memory in the same way that thief was fatty tissue, fluids, and chunks of calcium. The merchant crosses its arms. Felinda was out of patience. Was the thief going to return the book or not? I'll find the book, you have my word. The thief declared, and Felinda was satisfied, temporarily. And with that, the merchant returns to its work as well. Why do you narrate everything you say? The thief said, but Felinda knew from long experience that there was no explaining it. The merchant kneels before a bookshelf and jams book after book into the remaining space. This frustrated Felinda. After all, the two merchants were creatures of words, bound in metal and cloth, but whenever Felinda tried to bend these words into explanations and answers, they crumbled and fell apart. They could not fold themselves around the truth. The merchant slams the final book into place, and so Felinda said nothing. And even in saying nothing, Felinda's thoughts, he will think I am speaking. Why won't you tell me why you're narrating everything I say? The thief pleaded. He still did not understand that Felinda wasn't speaking. That was the thief that was hearing what was the passage of time. Okay, so yeah, maybe we're hearing his thoughts, or I don't know. That's so weird. Return to work at hand. Let's talk to Sir Jesus and see if he has anything to say. I'm sure he does. Working with that guy. The silent merchant traces dark fingers over a cracked scroll. It appears to be ignoring you as politely as possible. Well, let's watch him work for a little bit and see what happens. The merchant's spread fingered hands glide over a faded parchment with the faint sounds of quills scratching. Vibrant letters and an unfamiliar tongue appear in their wake. Let's see, watch him work a little bit more. The merchant again passes a hand over the page, and you hear the scrape of a quill on paper. Dark letters emerge from the shadow of the hand, as if pulled from beneath the page. The merchant again passes his hand, pulled for, yeah, so it's the same thing as before. So why is your partner narrating me? Strategist either ignores you or does not hear you. So neither one of these guys is pretty right in the head. They don't want to have anything to do with you. Can we look at their shop? Yeah, we can look at the shop. Books and scrolls line shelves extending into the depths of the stall. It is obviously that these are true lovers of the written word. I think that's pretty much all they understand, to be honest. So let's go ahead and talk to Belazar. See what this guy has to say. This thin, fidgeting Aeon priest shoots fugitive sidelong glances at the creature in the nearby cage, while humming in a nonchalantly tune. When he sees that you are watching him, he flinches. Over the course of a few frenetic breaths, shock becomes embarrassed anger, and he opens his mouth to shout at you. Let's hear it, guy. Yes, what is it? What is so god darn fascinating about me that you feel the need to stare? You seem nervous. What do you know about the creature over there? Let's see. You seem nervous. Very nervous. I'm not, Beelzar says, his eyes stealing to the cage creature again. I just don't like it when people sneak up on me. What do you know about that creature over there, dude? What? Beelzar says, jumping. Then he takes a breath and struggles to sound offhand. It's a biomechanical creature, an informed gatherer, in fact. They roam ancient ruins looking for hidden mysteries, valuable secrets. He seems to calm down as he warms to the topic. They're dangerous, though. You can only speak to them at night. During daylight, they're attacked without provocation. You're planning something, aren't you? Can you tell me about the creature again? I'm going to say you're planning something. Beelzar weighs the intent of your words in narrow eyes. Are you with the Order of Truth or just snooping? I am a friend of the Order. Maybe I can help you with whatever you're doing. Deception. Oh, man. If we were actually part of the Order, we might be able to do this a little bit easier. Let's, very hard. Let's just go with hard. Hopefully we'll do it. We failed. He looks upon you. You are no friend of the Order, and I'm not planning anything. I'll enjoy the fresh air. If you want to bother an Aeon priest, there are plenty of at the Order of Truth is that way. He jabs a finger upwards towards the height of the city, then turns away from you, obviously considering this a dismissal. So maybe once we become a member, he'll help us out, but until then, not so much. Okay, so this is probably, the Order of the Changing Gods. No, I don't want to do that. Let's see, let's talk to this Towns guy and see what they have to say here. I like your tattoos. Where did you have it done? I'm not sure if I'm saying that to them or if they're saying that to us. Let's come over here and just take a look around. I don't want to go over to the order yet, and I don't want to go to the temple just yet. I want to look around and see what they have over here. Kellenor, what do you got to say, dude? Paja. The couple stands together. Oh, there's a little kid running. Their shared gaze fixed upon from you. No words pass between them. Instead, they share a silent language of tenderness. Their bodies turn subtly towards each other, forming a private space between them. His hand reaches for hers. Is this a romance story? And without looking, she claims it. Still looking past you, they smile together. His is a curving line carved in oak. Hers unabashed and radiant as a lantern on a starless night. Turning, you see the object of their attention, a young boy darting between the stalls and playing in the dust. Each distant, exhilarating shout widens their respective smiles and tightens their grip on each other. Is that your son? Yes, he says firmly. He's still watching the boy, but a wary stillness has spilled into his posture. She swats his shoulder, and there's more punch than playfulness in it. Not yet, she says. We've adopted Jehoran, and we're waiting to see how he feels about that. Aren't we, Kellenor? His eyes flicker stubbornly, but he does not respond. Why did you decide to adopt? Well, Kellenor and I, we've been together for how long? Years, Kellenor says, a glint in his eye. And we knew we wanted children. So we tried and tried and tried a lot. Some days I barely had time to put my clothes on before Kel took them off again. I think I've heard enough on this. Interesting, go on. Paja raises her eyebrows but continues. Well, there was a poor Kel practically falling asleep on the shift, forgetting his trousers half the time, and me with nothing to show for it but a glow on my cheeks. Clearly, we were working with a barren field. Or faulty seed, Kellenor adds. Deadpan, does that run in your family? So we've decided to find a child who needed a home rather than getting old trying to make one for our own. Pajama says, the answer, your question? Yeah, it kind of does. More than adequately. I thought so, Pajama says with a wide grin. We get asked this question a lot, and finally we found that being explicit about the process made the question just melt away. Okay, so what brings you here? Jerome likes it here, Kellenor says. The stern expression around his stern eyes softens somewhat. Paja, we don't have much time between shifts or money to spend on frimpes, so we bring him to the market when we can to watch him play. It's better than a night at the theater. Kellenor raises their clasped hands and kisses her bruised knuckles. Why are you here again? Now we're going to say goodbye. Let's see, can we talk to the little boy and see what he thinks about the whole situation? Maybe. There we go. The child skids to a halt and rubs his forehead with a grimy forearm, leaving arrow tracks of dirt across his ruddy skin. Hey, Shuva, he pants, shading his eyes from the sun and grinning up at you. Never seen you before. You called me Shuva. What does that mean? Probably not a nice name, to be honest. Huh? Jerome says. A cautious light enters his eyes. Really? You've never heard it? Lie, it sounds familiar. What does it mean again? No, I've never heard that. Let's see. A nervous blush colors his cheeks. He doesn't seem like he's afraid of you, though. It's not meant, not really. It's a nickname for adults. Jerome glances at your face and goes for it. Some adults are nice to kids. Hey, pat the head. Here's a flower, a bit of ganache, whatever. But some aren't so nice. They curse, they shove us aside when we're in the way. Kids remember shoves more than smiles, right? So, sheva. Okay, so that's for people who shove you around. I didn't shove them, though. Do you like playing in the market? Not always, but it's better than school. Hey, and I like watching the Zoaf make sculptures. The one that goes sharp and curly. Reminds me of the monster on the side of Skrala Hill. I might be able to fight that. Skrala, what is that? Is that a building? Yeah, Sheva, Harm says, crackling. It's just a building at the center of town, 1,000 hands tall, with a mural on the side like Zohaf sculptures, but flat, and in a purple rock. Don't think you're going to miss it if you're looking for it. Hey. Let's scroll up a little bit. A wave of dizziness clutches at you, and you close your eyes to steady yourself. You kneel in a basement amid rotting rolls of carpet and broken furniture. A stack of paintings draped in dust and mold lean against the sweating wall. The painting in front displays the building Draham is speaking of, but through this body, this mind, you remember that it was torn down centuries ago to build a forgotten ruler's palace. You got 2 experience points for that. Draham, the stink of the basement flares your nostrils as you open your eyes. Draham, fidgeting, he looked away from you to examine an interesting stall nearby. So let's see. Why are you so dirty? Because he's playing in the dirt, dude. He's a kid. I don't know, Paja. Kelena, make me wash twice a day. Guess the dirt likes me, hey? Don't your parents worry about you running around here alone? My parents? Eyeing crackling. You mean Paja and Kellenor? They're watching me until my Mard and Sorrow come back for me. I think he's meaning his parents, yeah. Let's see. Huram, Jerome says, looking just as puzzled as if you asked him what hands are for. Murad, Sirah, my parents, you asked me about them. Paja and Kellenor are just taking care of me until they come back. Wow, look at all that information right there. Let's go back up. The words tickle your memory, your eyes flutter, and you see hands, not yours, careful turning the crackling pages of an ancient book. The roving eyes catches the words Mar and Sarah, or Saro. Old words for mother and father. Blinking hard, you focus on Jerham once more. He does not appear to have noticed your sudden fatigue, but he's not looking at you either. So 2 experience points for that. And that's all he can really tell me there. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and leave that alone. Let's look at the stall. The stall stands empty. Deep ruts in the layered rugs hint at a heavy furniture hastily moved as the last occupant. Okay, what about this? Can we look at this stall? No, we cannot. But we can talk to Prada. See what he has. In the shadows cast by the folds of the merchant cowl, you glimpse hints of verdant chitin and amber mandibles erupting from the pale human flesh. Her voluptuous robes cannot hide the fact that her movements are off, as if too many joints inhabit too little space. But her voice is a warm, tumbling flood of spoken thoughts and impulses. Well, let's scroll back up on that one. A fair afternoon to you. Warm, isn't it? Something begins humming in one of her many pockets, and her brilliant, multifaceted eyes flicker towards an invisible point in the distance. Well, not as warm as it could be, but this is the warmest minute of the week by a considerable margin. She trails off, but the hum continues. Oh, you have one of those tattoos. Anyway, can I interest you in some prime artifacts, dusty relics, Numenera, or uncertain origins? I've never visited a city before. Can you tell me about it? No, she laughs, and it sounds like a cloud of insects taking flight. I'll do better than that. Tell me anything about this place that worries you, and I'll make it better. That's a guarantee. Let's see. What part of this city should I see first? All of it. Take it from me. Everything is worth seeing, even the boring bits. Take your time. Talk to everyone you meet, and keep your eye open. Let's see. What part of this city should I see first? All of it doesn't matter what you see first, really, if you eventually see it all. Okay, what part are you... Dangerous areas in the city to avoid. Not at all, Prada says, waving her claws at you. I heard so many rumors about the underbelly was ruled by vicious thugs, but when I went down there to make a trade, no one so much as glared at me. She hesitated. Of course, they were probably worried I was going to snip their hands off, but the underbelly is fascinating and worth the risk. Most everywhere is. Okay, so I'm still finding my way. Think you could give me discounts on the goods? Well, she says, looking momentarily uncertain, it's like watching a lone cloud passing across a summer sky. You know what? I'll give you a discount on everything I carry from now until the last star in the sky collapses. Or, one of us dies. Can't do anything about that, she laughs, clearly unworried by the prospect. Okay, so let's talk about something else. Well, at least we got a discount just for asking. You said someone else had my tattoo? Who? Oh, right, a pale lady. She wanted me to fix an artifact of hers, but I couldn't make any sense out of it. And that is rare, believe me. Parat. I felt sorry for her, to tell you the truth. She seemed sad, like they lost something and was never going to get it back. Let's see. I want to discuss the discount we talked about. Oh, there we go. I'm looking for someone to repair a complex machinery. Can we help me? Oh, I'd love to. Complex machines are my favorite. But no, I shouldn't. This may surprise you, but I'm very, very, very easily distracted. Also, I'd rather fumble claws, whatever. She shrugs beneath her robes. You're better off with someone else, sorry. You appear to be transforming into an insect. I know, isn't it fascinating or fantastic? I think it might be caused by the intermingling fields of the Numenera I use to organize my thoughts, or the ones I'm selling, maybe all of them. You never know how a variety of ciphers will interact with each other. They are such fun. Yeah, not exactly what I would be thinking. Tell me about the Numenera you use to organize your thoughts. I have oh, let's go up a little bit. Oh, it's simple, sort of. Prat pulls 3 tiny Numenera from her robe, a buzzing bird figurine, a green music box, and a circular spring. I have too many thoughts. If I try to hold them all in my brain, I just stand and drool, you know? So each of these have a slightly different purpose. Which one do you want to hear about? Let's talk about the bird figurine first. Birdie, pretty simple. If I'm running with a great thought I don't have time to complete, I stunt it into her so I can pick it up back later. She does make everything smell like berries, though. Let's talk about the music box. Let's scroll up. The Jade box is a tough old lady. If I'm rolling with a more complex line of thinking, I'll bring her up and she chomps the individual ideas and feeds them back to me. I try to use her as little as possible because she gives me a headache. No, what's the opposite? Heady races? Pratt frowns. Anyways, they're worse than headaches because you can't go around thinking everything all right. It's bad for your health. How about the circular spring? That's Rwanda. She's a bit scary. I can shunt a bunch of thoughts into her, but she doesn't process them. She just gives them back to me, slightly changed and infinitely better than what I went in. Okay, so you get better ideas out of that, apparently. Pratt leans in. I try not to use her much, she whispers. It feels like cheating. Actually, I want to buy one. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about buying one, maybe. Brat flushes. I hate to say no, but I've had them since I was little. I can't do it, sorry. Did one of them in particular catch your eye? I can tell you about it, at least. Let's talk about the bird figure. I think she's going to tell me the same thing. Yeah, that's exactly the same thing that she was telling me before. Let's see, I want to talk about something else. Discount we talked about. I want to use that discount we talked about. I see. Things are already looking up. Okay, let's... What did I get? Nothing? Can we talk to her? Can we use the discount? I mean, how do we... Let me take another look at your discounted goods. Right away. Yeah, see, the shops aren't working at all. You can't even go in there and see what they have, so... That's kind of unfortunate. There's several people over here to talk to. Wow, there's a lot of freaking reading in this game, to be honest, guys. Tons and tons of it. Oh, wow, it looks so much over here. Well, I don't want to go any further until we talk to every single person. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. Merchant, let's see what you got to say, Merchant. Best selections of... yeah, we don't need any of that. What do you got? You're just a merchant as well, so maybe you won't say anything either. I bet you're sick to death of digestible food. Am I right? No, I kind of like digestible food, to be honest. What about you? Zoaf the Sculptor. This portly man, cracked and bleeding hands are always moving, picking fretfully at his thick lips, running through his thinning hair, or molding aimless shapes in the air. His clothes are marked with paint, dust, dry blood, and clay. His eyes brim with frustrated tears as he studies the strangely familiar sculpture array about him. A soul like silver of ice, he mutters. Fingertips long, shivered, sharp screams, trapped in flesh. She holds them in place. She's killing him. He's not looking at her. Why isn't he looking? Afraid? No. He claws absently at his sparse beard. Why am I not seeing? What am I missing? Who was he? What was he feeling? Without that, I can do nothing. A potential customer? What's wrong? Everything, he says without a moment's pause, effortlessly drawing you into his self-directed tirade. Every detail is almost right, which means everything is wrong. I am Zioff, stone carver, sculptor, divine painter of living eyes, and in this challenge, my greatest work, my talent, has finally abandoned me. He sweeps a scornful hand at the sculpture. Behold my art. Wondered, witness these dull stumps, these crude replicas of a sublime being. What is it you think I've made? Try to recall why the sculptures look so familiar. Amnesia, we do have that skill. Someone climbing a tree, a sea creature attacking a swimmer. So let's try to recall what that is. We can go with easy or we can go with routine. We'll go with routine. Success. You stare at the sculpture, your memories flow into you, its sweeping curves, teasing you with what you've seen in your short life and beyond. Yes, this towering thing is the true form of the creature that pursues you. Zioff has sculpted the sorrow. You don't realize that you've spoken out loud until you hear Zoroff's gasp and you see the tears in his eyes. Yes, sorrow, or even grief, is the present in the work. I feel it, but where? I cannot pull it from the stone. I saw this creature on a cold night not long ago. Smoking coronas of blackened light drew me into my window. Zoroff says, shaping the scene with his palm, and there, on the streets below, was she, gripping a man in her talons, before my very eyes. She ripped his essence from him, leaving him a steaming hulk. He drops his hands. But what do you care? You don't grasp the importance of capturing such a subject. Of course I do. She is mysterious and fascinating. I do. You wish to capture the emotion of the victim. No, I don't. That monster doesn't deserve to be immortalized. I've seen aspects of her. Maybe I can help you capture the detail. Of course I do. She is mysterious and fascinating. Let's go with the last one. As it stares at you dumbfounded. You think I'm trying to sculpt the killer, he says, and then immediately corrects himself. Of course I am. I've succeeded, in fact. She is beauty and vengeance incarnated. What artist worth his metal couldn't capture such a being? Zoroff clucks his tongue. But she doesn't need to be remembered. How could anyone forget such a lethal creature? No, the source of my ruin is this darnable man. Zoroff points to a trembling finger at the faceless human cradled in the statue's talons, a charred, oddly familiar pattern etched on the stone head. He stared eternally into the face and did not blink, but he will be forgotten unless I capture him here, and I cannot do that unless I know what drove him. The moment he fell, I ran for the street, but the Dinra Oha claimed his body and took it away, probably to their foul chapel in the underbelly. Now I'll never know who he was. How many statues of this being have you made? Is there anything else you can remember about the creature that killed your subject? Tell me about the Dra Hara. If I learn anything about your subject, I'll let you know. So how many statues have you made of this thing? Ha! If only my efforts could be limited. So I've sculpted the blasted moment in marble, granite, and clay. I painted it in oil and blood. Even follows me into my sleep, where I weave the scene from clouds and dream stuff. A frustrated tear rolls down his cheek. Even those were flawed. Is there anything else you can tell me about the subject? What a surprise, Zoroff says with a ragged, scofful sigh. Yes, let us ignore the incandescent flare of the stranger's brief life and focus on his murderer. She's much more glamorous. He grips his sparse hair as if he was going to fall out and glares at you. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what everyone wants. The creature is hunting me too. I need to learn everything I can about it. Read a book then, pester a scholar with your questions, for all the good it will do you. And when the beast claims you as well, spare a prayer for the artist who will drive himself into a grave trying to capture your final moments. Okay, tell me about the Dendra. They are a cult and a curse. They would have you believe they exist to preserve the great works of humanity, to celebrate life. You may even believe them until you smell their breath. The truth is that they squat in the underbelly chapel, eating corpses and claiming it gives them power. Who and where are the Dra Oha again? Oh, we already found that out, okay. A pack of, corpse gobblers, apparently. Let's see. If I learn anything about the subject, I'll let you know. And there we go, guys. We got a new quest. I think we're going to go ahead and call the episode here, guys. Again, I do want to thank you all for watching. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely worth playing, guys. I do appreciate all the comments you've been leaving below, and I cannot wait to check out more of this game. This is, you know, just a really, really cool playthrough. A lot of reading, guys. A lot of freaking reading. I did not realize it was going to be this much. Although I should have, because, you know, the first one was just as much, if not more so. Let's see, Demiro. Come on, if I can find the letters in the dark. Oh, man. There we go. Demiro 5. There we go. Nice. And again, guys, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will definitely catch you all next time.